The Zika virus. Facebook says goodbye to the like button. Fire in New Orleans, and a Panthers fan falls out of the stands. All that and more on this week's edition of The Deal with Villarreal right here at the Pimpy K Multiverse Network.
It's The Deal with Villarreal on the Pimpy K Multiverse Network.
I don't know what the big deal is. I really don't.
Alright, look.
Okay, here's the deal.
Alright, look. Alright, look. Here's the deal. Alright, look.
Okay, here's the deal.
Alright, look.
Okay, here's the deal.
Alright, look. Here's the deal.
All right, everybody, and welcome to The Deal with Villarreal right here at the Pimpy K Multiverse Network. As you can see, once again, the only version of Villarreal we have is his tiny little avatar right here to my left. But other than that, he is out sick. The man actually ended up getting a little bit worse than he was Monday night when I had to do the deal all by myself. He actually ended up developing some laryngitis. Hashtag has a dick in his throat. Other than that, we hope he gets well very soon. And I was talking to him a little bit earlier today. So hopefully he will be back Monday and ready to go. And I won't have to do this by myself anymore. I mean, it's bad enough that I pretty much already do everything here anyway. So now it's gotten so bad that it's to the point that I've got to do the show too, which is really, really fucked up. But that's okay. We love Chad. We hope he gets better, and I'll do the best I can, to do the show. But anyway, so let's not talk shit about that anymore. Let's go ahead and just get on into it. I got a few things I want to talk about. I said it right before the show started, so we'll see how this shit goes. The Zika virus. The CDC says it's actually coming to the United States. For those that don't know what that is, it's a virus that is contracted by mosquitoes, specifically the Aedes mosquito, causes birth defects, specifically in Brazil, where there's been a large surge of birth defects. Really scary little thing. This particular mosquito that carries it is... this particular type of mosquito is in every country in the Western Hemisphere with the exception of Chile and Canada, which that actually scares me a little bit more than it did before, because not only is this a nasty fucking virus that causes like mutated children and shit, but it doesn't go to Canada, which means it's obviously intelligent enough to know that Canadians are already defective. Was that funny? I don't think it was. I thought it would be. I tried. I gave it a go. See, I'm trying to do new things here. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get through the show. I'm trying to do things. Chad's not here. His avatar is right here, which is really cool. It makes me feel a little bit more comfortable, like I told you guys last night. So anyway, let's keep the shit going. Once again, you guys know the drill. This is The Deal. This is about the viewers chiming in and letting us know what it is that you guys want to talk about, letting us know essentially how it is you want the show to go, because the show is about you and it's about what you want us to do. It's about talking shit. It's about drinking beer. It's about doing pretty much all the same stuff that every show here at PMVN does, but I guess a little bit cooler because we have a Mexican minorities always liven the place up a little bit. So anyway, let's go ahead and get that contact information up right now. As always, you can hit us up here at The Deal anytime now. There it is. Twitter, you can hit them up at Chad Villy, or you can get me. It's not on the display, but you can get me at Mr. Pimpy K on Twitter. You can hit us up at Villarreal@pimpyk.com, or you can leave us a voicemail or send us a text at 850-426-4065. And that's pretty much the skinny on that. And even though Chad is out, if you guys hit him up on social media, he'll relay that back to me, and we can talk about that. So that'd be pretty cool. So another thing we got going on that I said I was going to talk about, there was it was reported, I guess it was yesterday or the day before, early in the morning, or yesterday early in the morning, there was a massive fire in downtown New Orleans. Somewhere around the 1000 block of Canal Street, which as you guys know is near the French Quarter, downtown New Orleans. The fire was called in at around 3:30 a.m., somewhere in the wee hours of the morning. Nobody knows exactly what caused it. It's still being investigated by the New Orleans Fire Department, or chief of the New Orleans Fire Department. There was a tourist near the scene that witnessed the fire that explained that there was a high intensity of heat and the smell of burning flesh. Wow, that's fucked up. But you got to imagine that somewhere along the line that had to be a little bit refreshing compared to the native smell of New Orleans. Really, if you think about it, it's somewhat a cross between Denny's dumpster mixed with like vomit and urine. So I think I would much rather smell the smell of burning flesh than what the French Quarter actually smells like. It's some fucking nasty shit. Wouldn't want to deal with it. Let's see, what else do we got? We got some more information on this. Let's see, And you know, here's the funny thing though. When you think about like a fire in a place like that, what it reminds me of is fires like the fires in the wilderness of California. You know what I mean? There's like this system in place that there's a natural occurrence of fire, and it kind of scorches the land and it wipes it clean. And much like California, New Orleans needed that shit anyway. So it's kind of unfortunate that maybe it didn't spread to some other buildings. Fuck, I don't know. Anybody from New Orleans, I apologize, but your city fucking stinks. It's really fun to hang out in when you're drunk, but that's only because I vomit and piss and add to the already existing smell of that fine city. But let's see. Apparently there were hundreds of more witnesses in the area at the time of the fire, but they were far too inebriated to talk to reporters. One man was said to have heard a man, or somebody said they heard a man yelling from the screaming building. They could hear him from the street yelling, and it sounded something like, That wasn't funny either. I just thought I'd throw that in there and give it a go. Anyway, so thousands and thousands of people died. I'm lying. That really didn't happen. Here's another train wreck of a show. I gave it a go. I tried to write some shit. It didn't work. I tried it yesterday. It didn't work. But I'm going to keep going because I'm a funny guy. You know, the funny thing about New Orleans, though, seriously, is, you know, that's sort of like the, to the southerner, to people that live in the South like I do, that's sort of like our Tijuana. Like, Southern Californians have Tijuana. So when they're not old enough to drink, they go to Tijuana and they do everything they want to do. When I was growing up, it was the same way because the drinking age there was still 18. So when I was like 14, I kind of looked old enough, which it really didn't matter because if you could look over the bar, they would fucking serve you a drink. You know what I mean? Granted, there's always the chance of getting mugged and all that shit because it is one of the most ruthless cities in the world, or in the country for that matter. Continuously shares and switches back and forth the murder capital with DC and Detroit. So if that tells you anything, you can imagine that a nice proper fire might be the right thing for that city. So who knows? So anyway, throughout the show, it'd be really, really awesome if you guys would hit me up on social media like I told you a little bit ago. Let me know what you want to talk about. You know, with Villarreal being out, it's kind of hard to keep the show going by myself. There's not a whole lot of content that I brought to the show tonight. We probably won't go for the full time, but it would be really, really fucking cool if you guys did help us out and bring something else to the table. What else do we got here? We got some other cool shit to talk about, though, so let's move on to the next thing. No, we already talked about the New Orleans fire. That didn't end up as funny as I thought it would be. And neither did the fucking nasty Zika virus, so we can say fuck that. All right, so let's see. We got about 10 minutes left in this segment. Ooh, I could go on for hours about both of these. So, we'll go with this one. So, Monday when we were doing the show, Villarreal hit me up and he wanted me to, there was one particular topic that he wanted me to cover, and it was about the Panthers fan during the NFC Championship game that fell out of the stands. So I'm going to go ahead and cover it. It's not going to be exactly what it is that he's expecting me to do, but it's definitely covering it, and it's what he asked me to do. And we just got a little bit of a social media ping here, so let's see what's going on. Uh-oh. This is somebody talking shit about how bad the show is. Here it goes. Oh, Jesus. Might as well experiment. Let's see. Humans or meat? We probably just smell good as any other meat when we're cooking. Victor, you're a sick fuck, but thank you for the message. So anyway, brass tacks, gentlemen. So as everybody knows, after Luke Kuechly hit the pick six and sealed the NFC Championship game for the Carolina Panthers, a fan who was reportedly too pumped fell from the stands while extending himself for a high five from Luke. Then the fan was abruptly helped up by Luke and some members of security and then escorted back to his seat. Chad wanted me to bring this up. He wanted me to put this guy on blast. He wanted me to talk about what an idiot this guy was and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Not going to do it, though, and that's for one reason. As I sit here today, a fan of the foosball, I don't think I could in my right. I don't think I have the right to actually sit here and put any other fan on blast, specifically one that made it to the playoffs, nonetheless won the NFC. But I'm a Raiders fan. A lot of guys know anytime you see me doing the Pimpy Cast, I'm always wearing a Raiders jersey. Pretty much everything I have is Raider jerseys. Raiders clothes. If you look at the back of my car, I've got an 18-inch Raider sticker. It's not a great life. It's the cross that I bear, and I do cry quite often because of it. But because of that, I don't feel like I have the right to rip on this fan. So what I did instead was I gathered some information about people falling, specifically Raiders fans. Okay, so the only difference between that and what Raiders fans do is we basically drink ourselves into a complete depression and inebriation, and then when we fall, it's most likely on purpose, hoping that it's going to cause some sort of death or permanent retardation, so that way we can be a little bit happier than the average football fan, because we don't really get that. It's been since 2002 we haven't even been in the playoffs. It's been since 2002 that we even had a winning record. That means we haven't won more than 8 games in a season since 2002. It's been quite a long road, and it's been 14 years, and that's fucking despicable, really, is what that is. So I looked up some information, which is really, really funny. The Raiders actually report on average that 2 to 5 fans a season fall from the stand. 2 to 5 a season fall from the stands at Oco Coliseum. Most of these falls happen between 15 to 25 plus feet. So we're talking about people that are getting straight fucked up when they fall. We're not talking about a fan falls, that 8 feet flop to the floor, someone picks him up and helps him back to his seat. We're talking about they go to the fucking hospital or to the morgue. I mean, no other bullshit. Which is actually the most out of any football stadium in the nation, believe it or not, which is the Raiders, so I know you can believe it, so I'm not even worried about getting into the argument about that. I know you guys all agree with me. But the funny thing is, do you ever hear the press talking about that, or does that ever get brought up? No, of course not. You're not going to hear about that shit. Why? Because it's the fucking Raiders. Their relevancy has been in the negative for so long that nobody really gives a fuck whether somebody's getting permanently maimed or not. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's fucked up, but that's just like, we're talking about 2 to 5 people a season, not one dumbass that reached for a high five and just fell 8 feet and maybe got a bruise and got helped back up. We're talking about people that are falling so far that they don't get back up. And if they do, it's with a neck brace or a body bag for the most part. Like maybe some rigor mortis kicking in. I don't know. Which is really fucked up because you don't hear anything. You don't hear anything about it. And you still hear people bitching about the fucking Eagles fans in the late 60s that booed Santa Claus, which means somewhere along the line, a fucking pagan saint, an imaginary pagan saint, became more relevant than the Oakland Raiders. It's fucking sad. It's fucking stupid. I could go on about this shit for hours. It's dumb. There's some stadiums that are installing police stations and courthouses, and Oakland Coliseum is pretty much installing suicide hotlines and AA meetings where, every Saturday dude gets a 6-day chip and he blows it on Sunday. It's not a really cool situation, but it happens. So that's really all I have about that. He wanted me to bring that up, so I did. It happened, so here we go. So we got that. Look, I blew through things. I actually thought that I was going to be able to keep the first 2 things I did long enough that we could fill up a whole first segment. I do have another thing that I want to talk about right here, but I'm actually going to save this for the next segment because it probably will take a little bit longer. We got about 5 minutes left in this segment. I'm dying here. If you guys would send me some social media, send me some messages, fucking call me, talk shit. I tell you what, that'd be really fun. Just act like David Dicksucker guy from Monday Night. Just send me some really horrific, horrifying insults, and I will deal with you properly. And then when Chad gets back, it'll be dealt with super proper. So that would be really cool. So yeah, I really don't have much else to talk about. I don't know. Is there anything else that's going on these days? What's in the news? Let me know. Hit me up. I'm going to go ahead and jump out to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about how Facebook thinking about getting rid of their like button, which I think is kind of silly, but they are. We're going to talk about how I'm suffering here because I'm not used to doing this, and Chad's an asshole for not showing up. And that's pretty much it. All right, guys, you are watching The Deal with Villarreal right here at the PMPK Multiverse Network.
You're listening to The Deal with Villarreal on PMVN Radio.
This sucks.
You bring a different hoe to each show, and you rollin' cigarillos with Dro. You act hard like you mixing water, plaster, and wood, but everybody knows you softer than a bag of that kush. My rap ain't bullshit, it is tapped with full limericks. I'm a beast up on this mic and you rap to poor bitches, so don't associate yourselves with me. I'd rather mingle with the people, maybe smoke some weed. Spending 30 at the bar don't make you a star. Looking gangster as a motherfucker doesn't make you hard. Play your part. Why? Cause your status ain't celebrity. I'm known to put you hoes to sleep without some ketamine. I'm readily posted up just like a gargoyle. Most of y'all wanna light me up and smoke me like a Marlboro, so bring it. I'm talking about the stainless steel or nickel plated. Put a batting on my head, I'll raise it. Deal, haha, one. Thing about me is I don't give a fuck when the reaper comes. Two, take me away, gonna pay him off to take me some. Folks with me, I'm nice but so gritty. I've been every status you ever was with no pending. You bring a different hoe to each show, I did that. And you rollin' cigarillos with Dro, did that too. You act hard like you mixing water, plaster, and wood, but everybody knows you softer than a bag of that kush. You wanna run around and act like a thug, I've been that. In the club selling up all the drugs, been that too. You act hard just like all these other rappers that could be dope, but we all know they softer than a bag of that kush. You know, in the club sipping unlimited cups and you drunk, thinking you crunk. Running that mouth just may get you stuck. Take what I say and motivate yourself to get out my way. You walking all up in the venue like you owning the place. Okay, come up at me and just sample a plate. I'm on the predator's hunt, you are this animal's prey. Anybody can rhyme and place words and birds up in the line on the mic. I'm a murderer, call me Dirty Bird. I'm coming out of the A. Don't nobody wanna be about it today. Used to be the dude in 2008. Nickname Brandon Money, put a pound in your face. Aphrodisiac when it comes to tracks. What's a beat? I ain't gonna make love to that. I'll beat it up. In fact, let me get up on it. A little bit neurotic and I'm hotter than a comet. Hold up, better slow it down like I'm in a little town. Gotta watch my speed. Fuck that, I'm a barrel on through, taking over like a case of HIV. So please, at ease, I did everything to meet your criteria to be the man up on these streets. So watch for me, you will see I'm in it deep. Bring a different hoe to each show, I did that. And you rollin' cigarillos with Dro, did that too. You act hard like you mixing water, plaster, and wood, but everybody knows you softer than a bag of that kush. You wanna run around and act like a thug, I've been that. In the club selling up all the drugs, been that too. You act hard just like all these other rappers that could be dope, but we all know they softer than a bag of that kush, we know.
This is Armageddon News.
the best way to escape war is to dwell upon its horrors.
Driving in your car?
You bastards!
Are you sitting home alone?
You a fucking loser and you fucking know it.
Does the end of the night end with you balls deep in that fat girl you brought home from the bar? Tuesday night at 7, tune in for the Pimpy Cast live broadcast happening on the Pimpy K Multiverse Network. When the going gets tough, just quit. Here's the deal with Villarreal on the Pimpy K Multiverse Network.
And that's exactly what I feel like doing right now. I feel like fucking quitting. Life in general. Trying to get comfortable. All right, guys, welcome back to the deal. Without Villarreal, right here at the Pimpy K Multiverse Network. As you guys know, Chad is sick, and I'm sitting here drowning. I'm bringing the show down, and this is what the fuck he gets. Jesus Christ. He needs to have somebody in place to do his show when he's out sick. Cause when it comes down to it, I can't handle the pressure. I'm not very good at this, I guess. I don't know. You know, the funny thing is, when it comes to the Pimpy Cast, I could do my show virtually by myself and have no problem whatsoever. I could go on for hours about the dumbest fucking shit. But because I'm trying to hold to a specific standard, I guess, that doesn't even really exist, it's a little bit crazy. All right, so I got a couple things on social media, which is really awesome. I appreciate you guys doing that for me. Specifically Victor, only Victor, hashtag only Victor. Okay. But one thing I thought I would bring up that was really, really crazy is, so I guess Facebook executives got together somewhere in Silicon Valley at a hotel conference room and essentially decided that they're going to be doing away with the like button. So, which is really, really crazy. Here's another thing. I'm sitting here suffering. I want to show you guys this first because this makes me feel even sillier because I want to show you the kind of time I put into this, but I was so fucking flustered in that first segment that nothing was going the way that I thought it was going to go. I actually had some shit prepared. For example, when I was talking about the Zika virus and all of that, I was going to have that. That was going to be really cool. There was going to be a ugly little mosquito with blood. I mean, you know, it's fit. It works. It's what it's there for. When we were going to talk about the fire in New Orleans, I was going to have that. And that's actually a picture from the fire in downtown New Orleans. So, you know, I'm trying to make it really news-like. I'm trying to make it professional. I'm trying to make it everything that we're not here at PMVN. So maybe that's what my problem is. Maybe I'm trying to make this fucking show something that it's not, and that's why I'm crashing and burning like a little bitch. I don't know. Could be wrong. Just saying. It's a very likely idea. So we get rid of New Orleans, and the other thing I was going to talk about was the Panthers fan, and that's actually the best picture I could find of that fucker falling. Either way, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So let's get back into this Facebook thing, because it's not the coolest graphic in the world, but I actually had something for that. It's because it is exactly what we're talking about. So once again, let me get back into this. So the guys from Facebook, they decided that they're actually going to get rid of the like in Facebook. At least that's the idea right now. It hasn't been made official yet. And the reason for this is they say it's creating loss of revenue with their ad system. So essentially what's going on is people are sharing and liking things that aren't allowing them to make money in advertising. I don't understand the exact details of that, but essentially what they're trying to say is that the like button was designed to make money or designed to make people lean towards certain products and stuff as people liked them. And it's being more used for pictures of what people are having for dinner. And you know, it's what fucking social media is about. I mean, it's people take pictures of what they eat for dinner and some of them take pictures of their poop when they get done. I really like those guys. Shout out to or hashtag Chaos in Georgia. That's a really fucking cool guy. He actually had a website set up where he just took pictures of his shit every day and then posted it. That's fucking top notch. I'm sure if that dude monetized that shit, he would have been fucking rich by now. But we're talking about years. We're talking about when maybe Google censored AdSense probably first started, so there probably wasn't a lot of that going on. No big deal. Anyway, so my point in this is that Facebook was founded and got famous purely on the like button. Nobody liked the poke thing, that went away, but the one thing that's always been consistent, the one thing that's always stayed the same, you know, from the time that they launched and they were this innocent little social media site that allowed people to connect and do this and that, all the way up to where they started stealing your information and using it against you financially and throwing ads in your face and data mining and all the other stuff that they do. The one thing that's always stayed consistent is the fucking like button. I mean, fuck, I like getting likes. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck doesn't like getting likes? I mean, getting likes is what Facebook was founded on. So essentially, you know, you take the likes off of Facebook and it's the equivalent of what Playboy's doing by taking nudity out of Playboy. I mean, it makes no fucking sense. And somehow they think they're going to make more money doing it. I don't see it. If anybody out there is a developer specifically in the world of CMS or content management, now is the time to develop a new social media site because people are going to be looking for one. I promise you. It's something that small will fucking crumble that company. But anyway, what I did is I made a list. This probably isn't going to be funny. I thought it was funny when I wrote them, but it's probably not going to be funny now because nothing has been yet. But who gives a fuck? And as I'm reading this list, go ahead and send in some, if you can think of some of your own, send them in and I'll read them live on the air. At least until I decide that I'm not doing this anymore. But I already feel like this segment's already going a little bit better because I'm not being a tightwad and just reading straight from a script like I was in the last segment. I'm an idiot. I won't try it again. I promise you. So anyway, I made a little bit of a list of comparisons to what Facebook's doing, trying to get rid of their like button. So they go like this. Number one would be drug corporations decide to remove opiates from Percocets to make it more marketable. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. That wouldn't work. Disney World removes all rides to make more room for merchandising and concession stands. That wouldn't work either, I wouldn't think. I don't know. Some fat people out there that go to Disneyland and Disney World just for the food. We know that happens, but so, this is a good one. Chad's going to love this. I think I wrote this one specifically for Chad. Let's see what Villarreal thinks about this one. Donald Trump's campaign managers have decided to apologize to all minorities and make right on all of his defaulted loans in an attempt to further enforce his image as being a lunatic racist with fiscally irresponsible overtones. That was a lot funnier when I wrote it. Local restaurants are considering changing their format to self-service dining in an attempt to bolster tipping for their waitstaff. Top executives from Microsoft and Sony are revolutionizing gaming by no longer developing video games with the intent to increase focus on educational software for the Xbox and PlayStation platforms. I thought that one was funny. Fuck you if you didn't. Music moguls are playing with the idea of eliminating CDs and digital downloads in favor of bringing back the 8-track, mostly to improve audio quality and to bring up revenues all around. I read that one wrong, but it wasn't going to be funny anyway, so it doesn't matter. So anyway, if you got any more from that list and you want to talk about that, send them in and I'll read them live on the air. You are watching The Deal without Villarreal right here at the Pimpy K Multiverse Network. And if you were here for segment 1, you know that this is a fucking train wreck already, but that's okay. It's not a big deal because I've got some social media shit to talk about. Not sure. I mean, I got a lot of social media shit to talk about. Hashbag. You're fucking. It's like that's hashtag douchebag, just a hashbag for short. Anyway, so let's carry on. Let's get on. We got a lot of stuff from Victor. You're the man. He could tell I was struggling. He sent me some shit in, so that's really, really cool. And let's see what he's got. Why the fuck do you drink light beer? If you didn't know me, I would say, how the fuck do you know I'm drinking light beer when I'm always using the Raiders koozie? But why do I drink light beer? I really don't know how to answer that. The fact of the matter is, I just grew up around people that drank Bud Light. I ended up developing a palate for Bud Light, and it's just my favorite beer. It's easy to drink. I'm not a beer connoisseur. I'm not into all this. And before I get into that, it's another thing that he brought up was on that same regard is, let me find it. What about these hipsters? Blah, blah, blah. What do you think about all these hipster specialty beers compared to good old-fashioned American beer? That's exactly where I was going to go next with this anyway. So you didn't even have to send that in. But thank you, Victor. But, here's the thing. I'm an American. And while a lot of people are going to disagree with this, for the majority of Americans, we're not beer connoisseurs. We don't like beer. The reason that we drink our beer at colder temperatures than anybody else in the world is because we don't like the flavor of beer, and the colder you drink it, the less you taste it. So maybe the reason that I drink a light beer is because it doesn't taste like beer. I mean, I don't know. I love it. I drink it all the time. There are some fuller beers, darker beers that I like. I'm not going to lie. I like Yingling, which is also an American beer. I like a lot of Amberbach, stuff like that. I don't drink it all the time. I mean, if I have my choice, I'm going to go with Bud Light. Why? Because I like it, and I don't have to fucking answer to anybody about what kind of beer I drink. And to be honest with you, I don't hang out at places where people walk up and go, "You're drinking Bud Light? Oh, God. You need to at least get something that's from a small city microbrewery, because if not, then you don't even know what beer is." Well, fuck your face. If I have enough, I'm going to fucking hit you with one of the bottles. I'll tell you that. And there's a fucking record on Escambia County Clerk of Courts that will fucking tell you that for sure. So anyway, let's get back into the questioning from Victor. That kind of pissed me off a little bit. Not at you, Victor. Just I did the voice of a smug fucking hipster, and I felt like he was here in the room with me. It was fucking amazing. Let's see. Better era of hip hop, the golden age of the late 80s or the gangsta rap era? In my honest opinion, neither. I'm actually more fond of the later Midwestern independent era of rap. The era of rap that brought a lot of independent artists to our face, such as some of the bands that came out of the psychopathic camp were ICP in them, not specifically ICP, but Twisted and some of those cats. Strange Music, Tech Nine, Prozac, Chris Calico, all those cats over there at Strange. Just a lot of 3-6 Mafia, a lot of the Midwestern stuff that started coming up somewhere just after the gangster rap era ended, pretty much after Tupac got shot, you know what I mean? When gangster rap really didn't have its place anymore. I mean, really the last bit of gangster rap that you had was sort of the beginning of the Southern takeover of hip hop, because everybody knows how hip hop has been. Every single part of this country has had its time with hip hop and its different variety and its different brand. Hip hop was pretty much started out in the East Coast, and you had a lot of that political hip hop and shit like that, and then it moved out west and got a little more gangstified. Then West Coast hip hop was the shit, and then you had the No Limit Soldiers from we were talking about New Orleans a little bit. Master P, or Percy as I like to call him, started that Southern brand of hip hop, and the South took over hip hop for a long time. I mean, you had, I just off the top of my head, I can't think of all of them right here on the spot. But I mean, you had like No Limit, them cats up in Atlanta, Dufree and his label, Ludacris and all that stuff. So the South took over hip hop. Around the time that No Limit came out, they were pretty much the last substance of gangsta rap that was in the pop scene that I would have been introduced to. But I really wasn't. I mean, there was like Ghetto D, one of the earlier Master P albums, was really, really cool, and then I kind of fell out of love with that. Really started falling in love with a lot of that Midwestern stuff, because that's what happened after the South no longer held the reins. It moved to the Midwest, and then eventually, who knows? Maybe it'll go up north. I mean, I can't really see a future where there's a bunch of New Hampshire rappers getting down and dirty, but you never know. Maybe something like that'll happen. Maybe you'll get a bunch of, maybe there'll be a resurgence of House of Pain type of stuff, and something out of Boston will come out. I don't know. I mean, you can never be certain with that industry, because the highs and lows are so sporadic that it's just fucking crazy. But that's hip hop, man. That's the way it's always been. But me personally, I prefer like the more wicked shit, the more hardcore type of rap, gangster rap, and all that. And to be honest with you, and I'm probably gonna get fucking the shit beat out of me for this, I've never really been into that fucking cheesy ass original 80s rap. It's that all that let me fucking clear my throat and all that shit's stupid to me. Say what you will, I really just didn't like hip hop until it got hard enough to suit me. That's just the way that is. Say what you will, but it's the fucking truth. And I really like the fact that that ate up a lot of time. Thank you, Victor. Let's see what else we got here. All right. Hey, just Do you think the Unabomber called his wing a pipe bomb? That's fucking. I'm not going to answer to that. Hashtag Victor again. All right. Scarier serial killer, John Wayne Gacy or Jeffrey Dahmer? Who would you rather be kidnapped by? Well, they both had a hankering for young men. So, either. I don't know. John Wayne Gacy, probably would find a way to, like, whoop my ass. Jeffrey Dahmer, no. See, here's the difference. John Wayne Gacy, like, lured guys to his apartment or to his house, got him in the garage, and then did things to him to allow him to do the things he did to them before he would ultimately kill him and put him in his crawl space. But Jeffrey Dahmer, see, he wasn't big, he wasn't tough, he wasn't anything fucking special. He would actually get guys to like him, come over to his house, and then fucking ambush him. It's a totally different thing. See, Jeffrey Dahmer brought a guy that came over that intended on sucking a dick and then ended up getting his dick cut off. Where you have John Wayne Gacy, where these guys are like at his house mowing the grass and pumping iron and acting like fucking manly men. And next thing you know, Gacy's asking them to put their dick in his mouth, and they say no. Gacy killed him. So I really don't know. Who would I rather get kidnapped by? I guess the one that I could probably beat the shit out of the easiest. So I'm gonna have to go with Dahmer, because I would not end up head and shoulders in his bathroom. Old joke from the 90s. Sorry about that. And let's see. Uh-oh. I think I'm running out of shit. Let's see what else we got. We got some shit on Facebook here. We got some other shit. Actually, we got a couple things on Twitter. Let me read through these for a second, because there's actually some good shit in here. Let's see. Yeah. Hit that. You hit that. And no, nothing good. So I guess we're getting about just to the end of this show. Shit. The funny thing is, Victor was sending all this stuff in, and I said, that's enough, man. That's enough. There's no way I could possibly talk about all of that. And now I need more content. But I'm not going to ask you to do that, because I'd already decided I was ending the show a little bit early, and we're actually only about 20 minutes out. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to go ahead and end this episode of The Deal. I apologize, guys. I know it's usually longer than this, but this is kind of the struggles you go through when the host of the show is out on sick leave. And the really cool thing is the awesome benefits package we have here at PMVN, where you don't get paid for it, but nobody says anything, and then you can just come back on Monday and still have your job. Can't get that anywhere else. Anyway, so like usual, The Deal will be here Monday and Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Same bat time, same bat place. I thank you guys for coming out and watching. Hopefully things will get a little bit better next week when Chad shows up. Until then, I'm Ben BK, the humble co-host of The Deal, with Villarreal out sick. Thanks for watching. This is The Deal with Villarreal on the Ben BK Multiverse Network.